meteorological update.
Sorry, I was literally trying to, I was trying to, answer some questions that people were having, and some problems people were having in the chat, and I was trying to do all that, and I completely forgot, so the screen went black for a few seconds. So apologize about that. But yeah, today we are talking about Invest 95. We're gonna have a guest today. I'm waiting for his call to come in. So I'm gonna, have that on standby in case he does call me, so I could easily answer phone when he does. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The Hurricane Watch team is here once again. I am back. We'll be talking about Invest 95L, which is located right here. I know it's a little bit hard to see, but it is right. Interesting. I thought I had this. Okay. The system is right here. All right. My friend is ready, so he wants to join. Hello.
What's up?
How are you doing?
I'm doing good, bro.
Good. So, yeah, I'm back on YouTube, and we're talking about Invest 95L. And again, it's headed for the Leeward Islands. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching it. I mean, as a 90-90, it could get pretty interesting once it reaches the Lesser Antilles. That could get interesting.
Absolutely. That was as of 8 a.m. Have they updated it yet?
Yeah, they did.
Okay, still 90-90. So this could be, again, this could be potentially bad. Now, if it doesn't move north quick enough, again, it could potentially make a brief landfall in the northern Lesser Antilles. Now, I'm hoping, this isn't like, I hope this isn't like an Irma, but,
yeah.
Because Irma just missed the Lesser Antilles, I think. I think it made landfall, but it was like in the northern Leeward Islands, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's what happened. It made landfall in the very northern islands, like the top islands there, but unfortunately for them, they still got hit directly.
Yeah, U.S. Virgin and British Virgin Islands, that area. Hold up, I gotta pull up my channel. Let's see any questions people have. So here it is, as of 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Tuesday, August 11th, 2020. Okay, yeah, make sure they can hear you. A low pressure system is located over the eastern tropical Atlantic, more than 1,000 miles east of the Lesser Antilles. Shower and thunderstorm activity decreased somewhat this morning, but new activity is forming near the system's center circulation. If these storms persist, then advisories would likely be initiated on a tropical depression later today or tonight. Even if a depression does not form by tonight, environmental conditions are expected to become more conductive for development while the system moves west-northwestward at around 15 miles per hour during the next couple of days. Conditions are expected to become less conductive for development by the end of the week. So again, I think as it begins to once it moves north of the Lesser Antilles, it might fall apart. What do you think?
I mean, it's the more likely scenario for that right now because, I mean, it looks like the wind shear will affect it. It's not necessarily the dry air it looks like anymore, but definitely the wind shear is going to really pick up because there's a trough to the north that's actually going to force more wind shear and maybe tear it apart like how the models show.
Yeah. We're going to take a look at the North Atlantic here. We're looking at the models. This is the GFS. And again, like we've seen with, Isaias, the models were have been pretty much trashed. And so you can't always rely off the models because they're not always correct. And you have to really rely on your own understanding and your skills on meteorology and understanding the Earth's atmosphere and all that. So we just look at the models to have an idea. of what could possibly happen, the possibilities, but that doesn't mean that any of them are going to be right. Yeah, it looks like it does.
Yeah.
GFS really just GFS doesn't really do anything with the storm at all.
I mean, yeah, I mean, just like that's it, like strong just before the lesser Antilles, and then once it reaches there, it just dies. Is what
Yeah,
it
like 1,001
shows.
millibars. So maybe, I mean, if, the thing is, if this goes through rapid intensification, which I don't know that it will, but if it does, that could be very, very ugly for
Yeah.
the lesser Antilles.
I mean, the interesting thing is that European is coming out, and they actually show this quite stronger than they did before.
Let's actually take a look at it. I haven't looked at the models in like a week. I took a whole break because I was just like, I just need a break. As y'all know, I don't get sleep during the hurricane season, so I feel like those people, my viewers and everyone understand that why I took a break. But yeah, they do show this becoming relatively stronger. Pretty intense right there. You can actually take a look in that region. Oh, that is right here. So there's the system right there. I mean, this could become, I definitely think this could be tropical storm Josephine. Absolutely. Even hurricane really isn't out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, if it gets really favorable somehow, because remember how the models have been underestimating this year. If it gets somehow be in a favorable environment, because this is in a more favorable environment than Isaias in the start, for sure. Like, Isaias was not really favorable in the MDR, more like in the Caribbean and the Bahamas area. But this looks like it's going to have a head start compared to Isaias. So even if it's more favorable, it's more likely going to survive than not if it's stronger. It just depends how strong it is so it could survive.
Mm-hmm.
If it's weak, it probably won't survive. But if it's stronger, it could maintain itself, most likely.
Yeah, the stronger the storms are. Now, the stronger the storms are, they create their own environment, and so they can get farther places. So, once again, I was looking at the storm this morning, and I was like, this might actually be another East Coast system. And now I'm looking at some of the models, and they're indicating this does survive, but remains relatively weak, but seems to be relatively large, but not very strong, and it may be a North Carolina landfall. Now, if it makes a landfall in North Carolina, I'm gonna be happy. Not because I want people to get hurt, but because, again, I predicted it correctly. Now,
yeah.
Once again, these storms are hard to predict because they change so much. But if it does, based on what I'm seeing here, it looks like it's doing something like this, kind of coming north right here. I don't actually know, and it might actually make a landfall there in maybe even the Outer Banks of North Carolina. What do you think?
I mean, it's definitely a decent chance for that. I mean, it's kind of lots of uncertainty with this track actually, because some models think that it's going to be a fish storm, and some of them have it more to the south. It really just depends if it's to the south. If it's more to the south, the chances for U.S. impact seem pretty likely actually.
Yeah.
It just depends how south it goes.
It's really, really hard to absolutely know what the storm's going to do every single minute, because I mean, even with Isaias, I was watching the storm, and we saw that shift to the south. And we were on a call. I was live streaming it. We were on a call, and Daniel noticed that I noticed that Isaias did a shift to the south, and the whole change went from the east. The National Hurricane Center changed it, and now then they were saying it's going to go to the Gulf. So I mean, a small change, like a 10-15 mile change, can drastically change what body of water goes to in terms of prediction, in terms of cone.
Yeah, Isaias, we're looking at, you saw that massive change to the south, and we're seeing all these models actually entering the Gulf of Mexico, which was quite surprising to say the least. But, with these little changes, it could seem like nothing, but they actually could be a major change down the line for impacts.
So I'm just looking at the models, kind of having an idea of what to expect from this storm. the model, like at one point the GFS was good, and then we had the nav gem, and we also had H-Warf was good, and H1, and so really, all the models are good at one point during the year, and it's hard to know which model is going to get the storm accurate. Now, if the CMC is correct, that would mean this storm makes its way. Let's put this into motion. I think it's the CMC. This is correct. It could make its way towards the Bahamas, north of Lesser Antilles, goes through the Bahamas. Really a low-end tropical storm. But then, once it gets away from the Bahamas, north of the Grand Bahama Island, it goes through intensification again. And then that's where there's that question mark. Is that where, could it make landfall in the Carolinas? So, if the CMC is correct on this system, then that would mean that it would be a most likely North Carolina landfall. Now, I don't know what it is, but the Carolinas have been cursed this year.
Exactly. They're getting everything this year.
Arthur, Bertha, Isaias or Isaias. I'm like
already.
And then was it Faye? Did they get Faye?
Yeah, Faye. Faye, yeah, as well.
Faye as well. So Arthur, Bertha, Faye, Isaias, and now potentially Josephine. So
damn.
I mean, I'm not surprised because, you know, the trend is the Carolinas. So, North Carolina landfall, the trend's the Carolinas. Really wouldn't surprise me. It's just, you know, one of those things is hard to know. So, where in the Carolinas? It could even be, because, you know, if it takes a more northern turn, it might actually make landfall near Hatteras, North Carolina, which is in the Outer Banks.
Yeah.
Very, very Outer Banks, North Carolina. That could be bad. It's a little village. I believe it's a very small village in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. And even if this is a 40, 50 mile, even if this is a 50 mile an hour tropical storm, they could still get flooding, easily flooding, and gusty winds and storm surge. And it depends on how slow this is moving. Let's say it's 50 to 60 mile an hour winds, and this is crawling at 2-3 miles an hour. The amount of energy that they're going to get is going to be a lot. They're going to have a lot of flooding. They're going to have a lot of rain, and they're going to have times they may even have hurricane-force wind gusts. Now, this really depends on how strong the storm is as it approaches the Carolinas at that time. So, again, the ocean temperature changes, the CCHP changes, the atmospheric conditions change through time. But this is just one model. It's a possibility. Other possibilities say it's going to be a fish storm. Some of them saying a landfall in the United States. So this is going to be another storm we're going to have to watch very carefully.
It's like Isaias a bit. Like it was first expected to be a fish storm, and this one's the same thing. I mean, it's expected to be a fish storm at first, and now the models are shifting more westward. It's like that thing that's happening this year. That at first they haven't expected to go out to sea, but then it goes more to the west and keeps going west until it eventually reaches the U.S.
Yeah,
is what it's looking like.
Like with that was very similar with Hannah. Like Hannah, they were like originally I think they were saying Corpus Christi landfall, right?
Yeah.
And then it kept on going west, and so it eventually made landfall in South Padre Island, which is a little farther to the west.
I mean, the European actually has it more similar to the CMC, believe it or not. No.
You see the European?
Yeah.
Take a look at the European.
They actually have it very similar location compared to the CMC. And hour 96.
Yeah, hour 96. It seems to be well to the north. Well, not well to the north, but you know, to the north of the Leeward Islands for sure. Almost reminds me of Jose.
Yeah, same. It looks like it could be like a narrow miss for the Lesser Antilles, but like still in a way that keeps going west instead. It goes more to the north earlier, but keeps going west. It's like Jose, but like Jose did that turn eventually. Yeah. Is what it did.
And I think Jose was a fish storm. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, I remember at one point that the cone actually showed Jose hitting Florida at one point, doing like a curve. like a loop and coming to Florida.
Yeah.
I remember that at one point. And it was the day Irma made landfall. So I was like, are you seriously going to have another hurricane
Be like, bro,
coming?
we don't need this.
Yeah.
When you thought 2017 was the worst year, and 2020 came. Oh Lord, it was like 2017 is horrible. Wait for 2020. But yeah, this storm again. I hope it's not another difficult storm because predicting Hurricane Isaias was, believe it or not, actually quite stressful if you think about it, because it was so hard to actually know, like, where's this storm going to go? We don't know where the storm's going to go. And it's like, I need to know where it's going to go for me to be able to predict this accurately. And
yeah, it kept changing. And
it's so stressful because your original prediction, like my prediction right now, I want to say North Carolina. That's my prediction right now. What are you saying?
I also say the Carolinas. I mean,
I want to get the state.
If it stays more to the north, it's less of a. Yeah, same.
Like,
but I feel like it could be more like the Outer Banks.
Yeah,
Outer Banks, I think.
Like Hatteras, North Carolina, is possible. I want to predict a city, like Adrian did, but like he said, Wilmington, North Carolina, and I'm like, you're not bad, you're not wrong. It was so close to South Carolina. I was like, oh, so close. But yeah, it made landfall in North Carolina. This storm, I think, is going to be an Outer Banks storm if this affects the United States. So that is my prediction. I do not think it's going to make I do not think it's going to make landfall in the Lesser Antilles at all. I think it's going to be one of those storms that's going to be, it's going to be super duper close, but it might not actually make landfall. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the European 120-hour came in, and it actually weakens it a little bit. But, that's what the CMC shows. It looks like it's going to weaken a bit north of the Lesser Antilles, but it may re-strengthen once it reaches closer to the U.S. It's what's looking like. It may, strengthen when it gets there, but when it reaches there, it starts weakening, and when it leaves there, it may actually start re-strengthening again once it gets close to the West Coast.
Yeah.
It's what's looking like.
I don't. Now, in terms of intensity, the intensity is really hard to predict. I mean, a moderate tropical storm is possible.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. That's difficult.
I mean, you definitely can't rule out a hurricane, but it's not the more likely scenario at this point.
I'm going to say 60 to 70 miles an hour. Or maybe.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, 60 to 70 miles an hour seems the most reasonable in my opinion. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, I'd say around that area. Because more of the model intensity guidance has it around 60 to 65 range. So, and there's even one that down the line actually strengthens it to a hurricane. But that's very far out.
Hurricane, I'm just like, I don't know.
But the more likely chance is a moderate tropical storm at this point. More like a moderate tropical storm.
I want me to look at the GFS para, so let me go take a look at that. And again, I feel like it's gonna be one of those storms that's hard to predict because model so as far east as a fish storm and as far west as the U.S. landfall. It is not going to be an easy storm to predict.
That's how 2020 it's been, basically.
That's just tough.
I mean, the PAR has actually not updated since yesterday at 12 a.m.
I see that.
Because
I didn't even see what just happened. Alright, so here's a storm right here.
The Najam is starting to come out. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. I have to watch every storm. Well, the PAR looks like the storm doesn't even really go into anything. Let's see what the Najam is showing. We got 60 hours on the nav gem.
It shows it more like of a westerly direction. It looks like, and there's like the high pressure that's stronger. It looks like there's like more of a ridge with it.
Yeah. It's gonna keep it farther south, which if it does that, it kind of reminds me of a Isaias, which but because Isaias was it was in the northern Lesser Antilles, sort of mid central.
Yeah.
Kind of
Northern central, like the northern part of the central area.
Yeah.
But yeah, most models think of it maybe a moderate tropical storm. The big question is, once it passes the Lesser Antilles, what's it going to do after? Does it go out to sea, or does it actually strengthen a little bit more and hit the U.S.? That's the big question at this point.
Lord, it's so it's so hard to explain the frustration of trying to predict something that seems impossible. It's oh my god. It's hard to explain how difficult it is to predict unpredictable storms. They keep switching, it keeps doing this, it keeps doing that. Now again, my prediction with Invest 95L is still going to be North Carolina Outer Banks. That is what I'm going for. North Carolina Outer Banks. That is my official prediction for Invest 95L. North Carolina Outer Banks. If it makes landfall in freaking New York, I swear to goodness.
Yeah.
Oh man.
This is gonna be like a little bit like Florence in a way, because Florence like had a weird turn, like a weird track. This looks like it's gonna be one of those systems that may have a weird track.
Yeah.
Honestly. That this is more to the north, but then goes more west. Instead of going out to sea, it just ends up going more west.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say, really. There's a lot of things, like there's a lot to talk about for sure. There's a lot of possibilities. It could become a hurricane, it may not even become a hurricane. It may just I think it's gonna be a moderate to a strong tropical storm.
Yeah, that's the more likely scenario at this point. Is that range-ish? But looks like most likely it's gonna at least be a named system at this point. Most likely. At least a named system.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping, praying to goodness, that this isn't potential tropical cyclone number, which one are we on, 10?
Yeah, 10.
I hope this isn't PTC 10 for, like, I don't know, forever.
Well, I think it's 11 actually, because remember we had that tropical depression. So maybe PTC 11. PTC 11.
This would be okay. So I hope PTC 11 isn't like Isaias.
Oh my god, I hated that.
It was
the longest.
It was a potential tropical cyclone longer than it was an actual named storm.
It was probably a record for longest PTC on all time.
I'm like Isaiah felt like we were watching it for a month.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
Long. I'm like, oh my gosh, make landfall, get this over with. I want to know if I'm right or wrong already.
It lasted like 2 weeks, I guess. That was a system that lasted. We were tracking it for like 2 weeks, basically.
Yeah.
It felt like
a month.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Just imagine people tracking Irma. Imagine Irma. That intensity.
And
My God.
I feel like Irma will be fun to track because I remember Irma kept on going through eyewall replacement cycle in the middle of the main development region, and it kept flipping between a category 2 and a category 3.
It had these fluctuations.
Yeah, and then finally it went like from a 3 to a 4 to a 5 to like basically a 6. And then
Irma was like one of those systems that it was like we're just waiting for it.
Yeah, you know what's gonna happen. Yeah, and again, everyone's like talking to me. Let me see any questions people have.
I just on Twitter, there's actually another area south in the southeast coast that may actually develop into something. I saw it in Twitter right now.
Okay, could you send it to me? Oh yeah, Tropical Depression 10 was off the coast of Africa. I completely forgot about that one.
Yeah, it was like a forgettable system.
I honestly thought that could become Josephine. I'm like, that might actually become winds of 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, it was arguably a tropical storm, but the National Hurricane Center didn't. It was like too short to be detected as a tropical storm.
Short.
Yeah.
10 hours. Yeah, just send it to me on Hangouts.
Yeah, I'm putting it right now.
Let's take a look at this. The leap happened. Okay, besides Invest 95L, there's another system for low level. What's it to land? Watching over the Gulf Stream. Oh, Lord, the Gulf Stream. Right?
I remember that that system actually reminds me of another disturbance that hit the Carolinas but never got a name or anything. That had like a 10 or 20% chance of forming. I think it was like in early June or late May that there was like a disturbance that in the Carolinas that didn't get a name, but it was still a disturbance.
Mm-hmm. Take a look.
Like 90.
Sorry.
I think it was 93L, I believe. 93L, I think it was.
I see it. It's just sitting off the coast. Oh, Lord. Well, so far, Adrian has been wrong for what do you call it? Kyle.
Yeah.
Did not form yet.
Oh yeah, I remember he said it was gonna form like mid-August, and we were almost in mid-August, and nothing has happened. We haven't even had Josephine.
7th to the 11th. All right, I see the system right here. I do see some spin at that, actually. I see some spin. I see some convection in there, actually. Okay. I like the look of that system right there, y'all. It's off the coast of Georgia, South Carolina.
Yeah, I see it too. It actually has some convection. It actually looks pretty decent.
Yeah, it
doesn't look horrible.
Bad. Looking pretty good. So, there's that system, alright. It's just...
Maybe the NAC makes it a disturbance later tonight.
So, I mean... if that system develops... I mean... Bertha, Arthur, and I think Faye were kind of developed over the Gulf Stream, kind of. Intensified. Carolinas are screwed this year. I feel bad for them.
Yeah, it feels like it's gonna be one of those years. We're expecting the Gulf to be mostly impacted, but the Carolinas, we're not really expected to get many impacts this year. Maybe early season because of the pattern was like more favorable for the Carolinas, but still this time of year, it looks like we're still getting impacts there.
Yeah, July we got it's really kind of impressive seeing all these systems developing. I mean, if that develops, that might actually develop. If it goes through, if it goes through rapid intensification, it might actually develop before Josephine does. It might become Josephine.
I mean, it's like reminds me of Edward a little bit, or yeah.
Oh yeah, Edward. It developed off the Georgia coast, I think.
Yeah, and then the models were not showing shit with it. They were basically showing nothing with it, and it forms out of nowhere. It had a 10% chance, like literally 12 hours before it formed. It was made a disturbance 12 hours before it actually developed.
Wow. You guys want me to talk about the East Pacific? So for the East Pacific, I was actually looking at some of the models today, but you know,
The
Edward.
East Pacific is actually waking up a bit. It was dead for most of this year, but it's actually woken up lately.
Yep. We got some powerful systems we're gonna have to be talking about. We do have a system. I mean, we do have a hurricane, but it's dying right now.
Looks like it's gonna be a fish storm. It doesn't look like it's gonna do much.
Yeah. We do have another system, and then another system, which I think the third system does, stay relatively close to the Mexican coast, the western Mexican coast. And I mean, it does get, relatively powerful. Let's take a look at the center of this system.
They actually show lots of systems at the same time in the Central Pacific, not affecting Hawaii, but lots of systems like trying to develop there. Like 2 or 3 systems at the same time in the Central Pacific.
It's hard to find the eye wall. I mean, we're seeing winds here. Holy shoot, this is definitely a hurricane. Oh, we're seeing winds at around 80 knots, so that's what, 90 something, what's that, 80 knots? I forgot my knots to miles per hour conversion.
Yeah, like 90 miles per hour. It's like 91.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was 90 miles an hour. So, I mean, that's approaching Category 2 status.
It was actually a Cat 2 this morning.
Oh, I'm talking about another storm I'm looking at.
Oh.
Yeah. Because there's another one behind it, and then there's another one which gets actually relatively close to the coast. Let's see, 970. Oh, look at that, 950. 954. That storm is not playing around, dude. 954 millibars.
I mean, we thought the East Pac will be dead this year, but it's woken up late, but better late than never. It's waking up.
Okay, 27 knot wind shear, 82% humidity. That's not too bad. It's really hard to find the center of circulation on GFS. I don't know why. Yeah, still seeing that. It's also hard to find the eye wall. 70, 80 knots right here. This person wants me to ask him a question. Crap. Fucking eye wall. Was that 80? And that's 100 knots right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's what? We're approaching Category 3 status, right?
Yeah.
It's probably Category 3.
We actually have lots of stuff to talk about today. It was dead for a while, but now it's waking up.
Yep. Is there... Yep, Category 3 is possible. And I've actually gotten quite a lot of subscribers.
How many have? That's pretty rapidly, actually.
I got 45 subscribers right now, and I have about 500 total video views. So video views have just skyrocketed. Yeah, on one of my streams, I have a crap ton little likes. I have like 40 something likes on a stream. I'm not even joking.
That's actually a lot.
It's 45 likes and 1 dislike. I'm like, whoa. I've never had every single subscriber like my video. That's something that's different, something that isn't usual. The Atlantic ain't jealous. The Pacific already had 2 majors. Oh, just wait. The Atlantic is going to wake up and is going to hopefully not do too much destruction. Hopefully we don't have like Irmas and Dorians and Harveys and Marias and storms just destroying countries.
Oh yeah, that'll be bad.
That was scary. I'll be honest. You know, when I saw Dorian, I'm like, oh hell no. I was like, oh, that's so scary.
I mean,
I
mean, it was stronger than Irma, in my opinion. It was definitely stronger.
I thought maybe 190 miles an hour.
Yeah, but they didn't change it.
No.
They found it at surface level, but they didn't say it was 190.
Bruh. Look at the Central Pacific models too. Okay. Will do. Okay. Regions, Central Pacific. Here's the Central Pacific. Not seeing too much from the global forecasting system, but some storms, you know, some low pressure systems avoiding Hawaii. Oh, yeah, we got another storm headed for Hawaii here in about 300 hours out. Watch this, just do this.
Yo, the Douglas literally saved Hawaii. Like, I don't know what Hawaii's luck is, but the one time it was not that much of a bad environment in Hawaii, the system just misses.
Like, I mean,
it's
probably,
like, bro.
What my guess is it's probably going to do something like this, and it might just do like this.
But yeah, that system that has like a 40% chance right now may actually affect Hawaii, according to the GFS. It does like a weird track. It like rides the Mexican coast, and then the high pressure comes in and forces it out to go due west.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. It's like 980 something millibars. It's slightly off the screen for the Central Pacific. But again, you know, we got these northern islands up here which could be affected by it. Those are actually all the islands. That's going to be bad, but that's something we're going to have to watch in the future.
Yeah, I mean, whenever it reaches Hawaii, it's probably going to be in September.
Like,
bruh.
Like, yeah, because that's... Yeah, you're actually right, because that's August 27th when it starts to come into frame.
Yeah, so literally we're watching a system affect Hawaii literally in September, in August 11th.
Wow. Oh,
yeah. 20 days out. Something 20 days out.
Like 450 hours. See what the West Pacific has to say. Okay, I'm not seeing too much from the West Pacific right now. Okay. Man, I used to look at the West Pacific a lot more, but now I forgot it was even an ocean, basically. I'll be honest.
I mean, it's been so quiet this year. It's insane.
Yeah. Imagine.
We're literally almost in September. They only had like 4 or 5 systems this whole year.
It's honestly getting kind of annoying. I'm like, can like something actually happen? Can we have something like stronger than 90 miles an hour, please? This is supposed to be 2020.
I mean, I remember that we were expected to have lots of major hurricanes early in the season, but it really has not happened. I don't think we've even had a Cat 2 this year in the Atlantic.
We haven't even had a Category 2. We've only had Category 1s. Strongest storm was with winds of 90 miles an hour.
I mean, something I've been thinking is, what if the season's actually not that bad as people are putting it as? Like, there's not much that actually happens. Like, you have lots of named systems, but not many strong systems. Because the models don't show much at all.
Because I said it was going to be a horrible hurricane season back in March.
I mean, we had landfalls already in the U.S., but nothing so bad. Like, nothing like major hurricane range.
Like, the worst, I think, was like Hannah, and it had winds of 90 miles an hour, gusting to 115 miles per hour. I mean, they did have current Category 3 gusts, but not Category 3 sustained.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think that Hannah was a Category 2.
Yeah, arguably it was.
It's just crazy. This person asked me, yes, I'm home. So this is Invest 95L. Again, we are seeing more convection. We're going to continue to see convection like this. We may even have a tropical depression by 4 p.m. Again, that really wouldn't surprise me if we had a tropical depression by 4 p.m. or even 7 p.m. But I do think that by the end of the day, by tonight, we may have tropical depression 11.
I mean, it's gonna be interesting what Cone the NHC puts for this. I'm actually kind of curious what intensity you expect from this. Probably like 50 to 60, but like I'm interested to see what the cone shows specifically for the Lesser Antilles. Maybe they have it just to the north of there, but maybe it could just change. Who the hell knows?
Mm-hmm. These storms change all the time. That's what makes these storms so difficult to predict. And these storms, again, like with the track that we've been seeing, these storms have continued to be shifting west. And that's one reason why I think this is going to make a U.S. landfall, because all the storms have been shifting west.
I mean, just the models have been pretty bad this year. It's the truth. I mean, you can't even rely on a model. You have to rely on our knowledge this year.
Yeah.
For what you think this is going to do.
And I believe Danilo was saying that this storm, he was going on the models. And here's a reason why you shouldn't go on the models, because just because you think the models are correct doesn't mean they are going to be correct. You kind of have to go with your gut feeling. That's sort of what I'm doing now. That's kind of what I'm realizing when it comes to predicting storms. I kind of go with my gut feeling, and I also go by what I know from what these storms are going to do.
Yeah.
I don't really know what else to say.
The 18Z came out for 95L, and the pressure has dropped even more.
Wait, really?
Yeah, to 1,007 millibars.
It was at 1,008 before, right? Or no, 1,010 maybe.
It was 1,009.
1,009, okay. This is
and they're pretty interesting. More models shifting west towards the Bahamas.
Yep. Like I said, all the models are going to be shifting west, and
There's only two having it out to sea now. Only two of them.
Are you looking at the hurricane models, or are you looking at, like, I forgot what are you looking at?
The Tropical Tidbits model guidance, the model track guidance.
Here, let's take a look at that.
The CMC ensembles actually have some of it, like, actually getting pretty close to Florida. But, like, in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
There's still one model that has it becoming a hurricane. Yeah, most models at least develop it to a tropical system. But, like, they just have it becoming like a 50-mile-per-hour system now.
Yeah, only the AEMI and the CEMI take it out to sea. All the other models take it right towards the... I mean, I'm really worried about Puerto Rico. I mean, some of them, if this stays to the south, we got Puerto Rico, we got the U.S. Virgin Islands, we got the British Virgin Islands, we got the Dominican Republic and Haiti that could be impacted, and of course we have the Bahamas that could also be impacted, which they're still getting over Hurricane Dorian. Just like recovering from the hurricane, because Hurricane Dorian did so much destruction, it made their country smaller.
Yeah.
That's how horrible it was. It made their country smaller. It's kind of scary to think about.
But it's incredible how the models just shift even more west. Like, it's actually a pretty big difference now. They show it more west, like way more west than before. They don't even have it going north at all.
Yeah, we gotta wait for that northwest turn. Because right now, it looks like it might be going northwest, but I think it's mainly going west-northwest. What do you think?
I mean, yeah. And I don't think it's even... I think it actually shifted more to the south, because that is a pretty noticeable shift west. There's maybe a chance it maybe jogged a little bit more to the south, possibly.
I'm gonna have to start watching this storm much closer. You know, I mean, it's really hard to find the center circulation.
I mean, I saw on Twitter that the circulation is kind of exposed right now. It's more to the right, just a little bit to the right where the convection is, but it's still enough to be classified as a depression if it maintains.
I think I see it. I think it's right there. I can share my screen. Share screen. Which one do I want to share? I want to share this one. What I was saying was, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's that's the center.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Cause I mean, you got like.
But with that shift westward, I mean, that actually makes it more the Bahamas in play. It kind of does an Irma track if you think about it.
Mhm.
It does an Irma track.
A little bit, but I mean, it goes north like that. It's definitely going to become more likely for it to be an Irma track. I think it might be. I think it's moving like this. I think this is direct. I think it's moving. That's too extreme. This is hard. Hold up.
I mean, Adrian is saying that it's gonna hit Florida. So yeah, I feel like Florida to the Carolinas have to watch this.
Yeah, Florida. That's hard because this is hard because I don't know where this is really gonna go. That's Florida to the Carolinas. That's thousands of miles of land.
Yeah, any shift could change the complexity of this whole forecast.
And I'm like, and I need to be able to narrow it down to a more specific area, not just Southeast United States, because that's pretty damn broad. It's one of those things. It's like, yeah, it's super broad. Like,
but it's more likely. It's interesting that the 18Z models have a pretty noticeable shift westward. That it looks like the high pressure is going to be much stronger and force it more westward. It looks like.
Yep. Let's put this into motion. Dang it. Oh, God. I don't know if it's exactly... Oh, I think I see the shift to the south a little bit. You can kind of see the center circulation moving south and then north again. A little bit. Maybe that's just it wobbling. I'm not sure.
CNN reporting that Joe Biden has selected his running mate and the announcement will come in 4 days.
Oh, okay. Mom, take care of the baby. What?
Okay, this is going to be a very interesting storm to track. Go to the sea surface temperatures, please. Okay, we'll do. Ocean analysis. Western Atlantic. Well, I can go to the North Atlantic. But whatever. North Atlantic. So again, I think...
It's like 11.6. It's 11.6 north.
11.6 degrees north.
And 39.6 west.
Okay, 39?
0.6. Yeah, basically there, just a little bit.
2030 up here, so it looks like. Right?
Yeah, basically there. Yeah, it's in 27, 28 Celsius right now.
Okay, so this is where the storm is.
Which is like 82, 83.
Yeah. So, I mean, and the farther west
it's
it goes,
good.
And if it's moving like this...
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
It might do something like this, kind of do like this, and then what I'm worried about is it may do something like this.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
It might actually get super close to Florida. It might be, kind of like Isaias almost, you know, but like north of the islands.
Looks like it's gonna be more like south of the Bahamas with this system. It's gonna be more westward instead of northward.
Yep.
So I feel like Miami is probably gonna be more in play with the system. It looks like if it continues to this track westward, it looks like it's gonna be more Florida and Carolinas, but Florida may get impacted a little bit more with this than Isaias if it shifts more westward. Because, you know, with these 18Z plots, they don't even have a chance of it going north at all. They just have it west. And with it's a massive change because the 12Z GFS has it going out to sea. So something must have happened to make this shift go west. Something must have happened with that center that the models just said it's going to go more west.
Yep. It's so this guy said, I saw that conditions are going to be extremely favorable for the Atlantic from August 20th to September 19th. Yikes. We are in La Nina. We are in La Nina breaking. Are we actually in La Nina right now?
It's dropped a lot recently, so I think we are. Yeah, we are. 0.51 below average.
Holy shit.
Negative 0.51.
I haven't looked in such a long time. This caught me by surprise. Fudge.
This thing is dropping pretty rapidly.
This is plummeting, dude. These look like my grades.
Yeah.
Really. I'm gonna keep J, right? Okay. I mean, take a look at. I mean, dang it. Look.
But yeah,
That
look, crazy.
Dang, dude.
It looks like it's still going to drip south because that plot, the final plot, still has it going more south. So it looks like it's going to drop even more.
It might do something like this, and then maybe flat. I don't really know. I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna do.
It looks like it's gonna drop, maybe flatten a bit, maybe it'll go a little bit up and then go back down again.
Kind of like right. Like
like that.
Kind of went up and then back down.
But it stays down. It doesn't go back up like that.
Like this, maybe.
Yeah, basically.
Let's see. We shall see. That is crazy. Bro, oh my gosh. Zoom out. Look at the shear and the humidity. Yes, I will. Oh my lord. Shear and humidity. Hold up, guys. Just like, hold up. Humidity should be fine. I'm not actually sure, so I can't actually say that as a fact. Like, I don't actually know. I could actually find the dry air. Oh my gosh, I have so much open. So here it is. Maybe. Is that a moisture bubble? I can't tell. I think it might be.
Dani, se te va a poner frío el pan.
It spiked because of the Saharan air layer. I think so. It should stay down now. Yeah. Saharan air layer. I mean, there's practically no Saharan air layer here in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah. Maybe south of the Keys, and maybe that's why I'm getting dry conditions lately, is because there's a little bit of dry air you see there. But it's not much. It's pretty weak, Saharan air. Like, not much. It's like the lower levels.
Yeah, if you look
not
down
like,
here. You look down here, I mean, we're talking the yellow, so it's on the on the bottom end of the scale.
Yeah.
Can you see it in the atmosphere?
I mean, it's pretty hazy. Not so much. It looks like just like a hot day. Maybe a little bit. There's not many rain clouds today. It's like a pretty sunny day-ish. And it looks a little hazy. That's what it looks like. Just not much, but a little bit. You could definitely tell it's a little hazy.
Yeah, it's. Man. Remember we got that sandstorm from Africa, and it was so hazy. It wasn't even. It was so hazy. It was like crazy. It was so hazy.
Damn.
The way behind 95L might be a strong storm. Oh shit! You didn't notice that? How did I not notice that? Wow. That is something, y'all. Look at that. Look at that massive storm there. Oh, guys, I am not ready. Oh, man. Staying up from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. every single day is something I'm not ready for. So, let's actually take a look at that. Because I want to actually talk about it, because that looks kind of ugly. Something I don't really ready for. But, here we go. Let's talk about it. Here is the North Atlantic. We're going to take a look at true color. So there's that system right there. It's actually kind of big if you think about it. Let's zoom this in.
I mean, that wave of Africa looks pretty interesting as well. Models don't do much with it, but could do something down the line, possibly.
It's possible. It's something I'm gonna have to watch. Could you? I mean, I might play it Saturday. We'll see. Could you play Cycling Simulator on Saturday on a game stream? There will be an update tomorrow with the whole Earth map. I might. I'll try. I'll see. It really depends on how serious the storms are, because, you know, we get a big, powerful storm, and I have to do a stream once every 3 hours. You know, I really won't be able to really do, you know, a lot of playing games all the time. That's going to be something that's not going to be very easy. But I'll try. I'll see. Once again, the moment watches and warnings are in effect for the Lesser Antilles, I will be doing streams once every 3 hours on that storm.
I mean, with that westward trend, it looks like it's actually gonna maybe bring some warnings out. At least watches later, maybe in a day or so. Maybe there'll be watches coming out.
I kind of don't want that. I mean, I kind of want my sleep still, but you know, it's bound to happen. I'm about to be streaming 15 hours a day once again.
This could be a first August. I mean, it took a while, but here we are.
Yep. I missed a call from my friend Eric, who never calls me.
Oh.
Oh well. He's actually one of the kids who bullied me. Believe it or not. Oh, and I'm so frustrated. I'm doing pretty good right now. I'm doing a stream. My friends on Instagram are all texting me. They're just like, talking about, but we can still talk. That's the thing about doing YouTube is, even though I have a lot of friends on the internet,
Yeah.
YouTube really kind of gets in the way of things sometimes. The way
That is true.
There's a lot of stuff that I have to do, and
it kind of feels like a job in a way.
You feel? I'm like doing a job for free. It's like, I know that doesn't make sense, but you know what I mean? It's so exhausting.
But you like doing what you're doing, right? It's like a job that
it feels like a job. I mean, I'm up, I'll be up from 4. Sometimes I'll wake up at 4 in the morning to, look at the storm, kind of, look at it for up to, 3 hours, and then I'll, do a stream from 7 a.m. So I get my stream scheduled during, when watches and warnings are in effect, are from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. I know, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Thank God there was a break so you could like sleep more, because it's a season's probably gonna pick up.
Yeah. So, does anyone have any comments, questions, or concerns? Because, I'm running out of things to say. Like, I don't know what else to say. Look at the hurricane loss for investment. See, that's the thing. There's so much information to look at. It just is like, you literally cannot talk about everything within an hour.
Exactly.
And I'll be honest, the moment I sat down here, I already got tired. I'm like, oh. I hate that feeling when you're just exhausted. You're just like so tired. You're like, oh. I'm just like, no. Here we go again. Let's take a look at the HWRF. Hold up. I'm like, ugh. Like sometimes I'll be talking about one storm for up to 2-3 hours at once because, you know, like I really do enjoy it. I really do enjoy talking about storms. It's just one of those things that's complicated and very time consuming. So here's the system. I just kind of want to show you over time, what they're expecting. This is the HWRF. So there you go, you can kind of see it. It does make a landfall. It looks like it does make a small landfall there in Puerto Rico there, just the very north of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty interesting.
So, flooding is going to always be the biggest concern when it comes to tropical systems.
Yeah, especially for PR. And looking at the NAVDRA, may actually develop a tropical system in the Caribbean in like a week from now.
I'm like really, really kind of worried about some of these northern Leeward Islands. Flooding is going to be something I'm going to be worried about the most.
It's going to be a flooding problem, that's for sure. I mean, Typhoon Tip is there, and if it gets another tropical system, I mean, 2 or 3 week time difference. I mean, that's a pretty short amount of time, to say the least. The big question is, when does it do that turn to the north, if it even does it?
Which, again, if we go back here and we take a look at the storm, I don't actually have it pulled up. And again, I think once it gets south of the Bahamas, I don't know, but it might be like one of those storms where like it's gonna make landfall, boom, makes a turn to the north at the last second, and it doesn't make landfall. Kind of like with Dorian, made that landfall at the last second. Same with Isaiah. Well, sort of. It was kind of doing that, and then it kind of turned north. It made that. Y'all notice how sharp of a turn that north. How sharp of a north turn it made.
Yeah.
What else? Gotta look at all these models. Oh gosh, most of these models can be killer. I don't know why I get really tired looking at models. I just do. I'm just like, next model. But again, it's one of those storms.
One of those annoying storms, that's for sure.
Yeah. what else do we need to really talk about again? Northern Leeward Islands, Lesser Antilles, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Haiti, and Cuba, and Bahamas, and Florida, and Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina need to watch the storm. That's a lot of places.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks like an Irma. It's all I could say. It's an analog, obviously not intensity. This is not going to be an Irma. And intensity, that's a guarantee that's not going to happen.
100%.
Unless, miraculously, it rapidly intensifies, obviously. But that's not going to happen, it looks like. And,
I mean...
but track-wise, it looks like it could happen. It could happen. Yeah, I could see the center a bit more now in satellite.
Satellite, it's very clear. I don't like it's. I feel like it's almost. I feel like it's almost useless to look at the models because they've been trashed this year.
Yeah.
It's like look at the models really isn't that useful. It seems it's kind of like you can look at the models to have an idea of where the storm is gonna go, but I mean, like with Isaias, we were showing as far east as like the Central Atlantic and as far west as Texas. Like that is a big ass range.
Alan just sent me an imagery in a DM saying increasing cumulus activity in the circled region seems to suggest that 95L will soon have a new burst of convection. Given that the previous one is still there, 95L may pretty much be a depression at this point.
Oh. Yeah. Storm, you can kind of see, you can definitely see the convection blowing up around that center of circulation, which I think that it's gonna, the storm is going to intensify much more as we go through the rest of the day. Does anyone have any more comments, questions, or concerns? Still going, still going. Got hit by Florence remains. Oh. Florence was, I would say, is pretty much on the level of catastrophic in terms of, really in terms of flooding.
Yeah, I mean, flooding is the number one concern with this. Second, I'd say maybe the wind, because, it's going to be pretty decent. It's not going to be like a 40 to 45 system. I mean, it's going to be moderate to strong tropical storm, it looks like.
Yep, strong to moderate tropical storm, North Carolina Outer Banks.
I wonder what happens later today. I'm just curious to see, how much the models will deviate from now on with this, because it's moving more west. We're going to have a better idea what it does. It's just going to be interesting.
Yeah.
To say the least.
I'm going to probably end the stream soon because, again, don't you think we pretty much covered everything?
Yeah.
So guys, I'm just gonna end the stream right there. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. I will talk to everybody at maybe at 4 p.m. if this becomes Tropical Depression 11. And I will talk. Will there be 30 storms this year in the Atlantic? Probably not. I don't know. Maybe. We'll have to see. But yeah, guys, that's me for today, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. And I might talk to you at 4 p.m. because this becomes Tropical Depression 11. I'll be streaming. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon.